Soon we will want to start putting information into a database and getting information out of that database. But we have a little preparation to do first. One of the things we will likely want to do is to keep track of a unique user ID so that we can access the database using that user's ID. Something like your colleague ID if we were trying to figure out what courses you had taken or what your major was. We would need to access the database, and we don't want to keep on asking you what your user ID is, so we want to carry it with us from one page to another. And that's something that we will practice this week. So I have here a page. I'm asking for a name and a birth date. This is nothing new. You can do this. I've asked to create a password. We haven't used the password input type before, but it just collects information. It just doesn't show it here. So that is the password input box. Now I'm going to send my form, and again, nothing new here. You know how to pick up information on your second page. I've got a submit button here, which suggests that there is a form here. So this is all on a form, and when I hit submit, I'm passing that information to another page. I called it part 3 up here, Lab 6 part 3, and I'm just passing the information along. No big deal, just want to make sure that we can keep passing along information. This is not the final step in this lab, but let's see how we get here. And I put it on a Word document here. So on the first PHP page, we have this input box where we're asking for a name. I've just done one of them. Obviously there's 3 input boxes, but this is just one of them. For the password, the type is password here, not text. Okay, so we've got an input box, called it name. On our second page, we picked it up using the post here. So I called it str username. Incidentally, some people have tried putting a number to start this variable name. You cannot say $sign and a number. It has to be a character. So here is a variable called str username, and I picked it up from the first page by using its name, which is what I called it on the first page. So fine, I've got a value in str username, and I put it on my form using this syntax here. So I need to print it in HTML, and so I need to use PHP to print the value of the variable str username. And then in order to carry this to a third page, I had to put this in a form. So I had to go onto the second page and make a form. That form needed a method and an action. So whatever the name of your third page is going to be called. It needed a submit button. And it also needed a hidden form element. So it's an input type. The type is hidden, so it doesn't show up on the form. I called it name, and it has a value, and this value here is the exact same thing as this here. So The way that I picked up the value to put it on the form on our second page is the exact same way that I picked it up to give it the value in hidden. This was on the second page. This is also on the second page. So that's how I print it out, and that's how I have to print it out in the value of this hidden element. On the third page, I pick it up in the exact same way because I called this input, I called its name, and that's what I'm using here. And I picked it up and put it into this string username, and then I printed it on my page. So this actually mirrors this. As long as I'm careful in naming my variables, I can use the same piece of code. So again, on the first page, I have an input box called name. On my second page, I pick up the value, put it into a variable, print the variable on the screen. But I also need to print the value of the variable in this hidden element here. Make sure I've got a form, make sure I've got a submit button, so that on the third page I can pick it up and print it. And that's how mine worked. I'm going to ask you to do one extra thing. I'm going to ask you to add a fourth page. And I'll show you what I want it to look like here. This was the one with the 3 pages. Carry it to the second page, pick it up from the input boxes. Carry it to the third page, picking it up from those hiddens. But I want to make sure that you understand that you can keep this going. So I'm going to make my third page blank and carry this information to my fourth page. I'll show you what I mean. And this is what I want you to submit for your lab. 3 text boxes. One of them is a password, so you should get the dots in here. Clear form should work. And now we send it. We pick it up, we submit it, so not showing anything on this page, but we know that we've been able to successfully carry this information to the next page. I would like, please, your pages, and I would like a video clearly showing you running it from localhost and that you are able to carry this information forward. Thank you.